Well, good afternoon, Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker, and today is Friday, March 28th at approximately 16:35. That's 4:35 Mountain Time, and I am located at the Love's Truck Stop in Bennett, Colorado, which is to the far east side of Denver, Colorado. And it's been a very interesting several days, everything from a medical emergency to being redirected. Anyway, I'll tell you all about this, but let's introduce the equipment because I got to move quickly, and I'll tell you why. For our razor, we're going to use a pre-1891 Sheffield Frederick Reynolds, and you can see the Sheffield right there. Beautiful markings on the tang. It's got a lovely imitation tortoise. It's a wedge, a full wedge. It looks like to me, and it's a barber's notch. And so just everything to love about this razor. And when I got it from Griffith Shaving Supply, and it didn't quite have the edge on it that I would have liked. And so I gave it, I don't know, a few passes on a Shapton Glass 30,000, and that just brought it right up to speed real quick. I have scalding hot water in the sink. For the soap this evening, we're going to use Zingari Man's Master Barber. Interesting barber scent, to be sure. And so, as we speak here at this moment, my boss has given me the directive to get a oil change and PM on the truck, and I have to do this before I return from this load, and be able to get home, get a 34-hour restart in before Tuesday morning, which means I got to be home on Sunday. This is going to be very ugly, and I'm not much liking this, what he's put together. But there's not much I can do about it. It's just too tight. It's too tight. I'm not going to get any rest at home. I get home on Sunday night, have to turn around and sleep in my own bed Sunday night, because it'll be Saturday, Sunday driving home, Monday off, sleeping in my own, or having to go down to the truck. I mean, I don't have to. I don't know what time the Tuesday load is going to load. But anyway, and so this load that I'm on went to Vernal, Utah. I left, the load was loaded for me, a preload on our chemical yard by our chemical company that my trucking company is owned by. And so I spent Monday night, went down to the truck Monday night, boss did not know when the trailer would actually be ready, and he said probably sometime around noon, and he was right, it was 11:30. And he gave me 2.5 days to go nearly 1,400 miles. And I learned at the last minute that the preferred routing is to go Interstate 80 past Laramie, past Rollins, past or real close to Wamsutter, and turn south into the, and if you look at a map for Vernal, Utah, you'll find that it is in the barren wilderness of Utah, and you've got to go through Wyoming, barren wilderness of Wyoming, Colorado, and northeast Utah to get there. And I have never seen a place so barren wilderness as Vernal, Utah. But be that as it may, the load was ready for me by 11:30 Tuesday morning. And I thought, in order to get a good jump on the load, I needed to get to above, at least Oklahoma City. That's 8.5 so hours. I got to Guthrie, but here's the thing that makes has anybody ever had a kidney stone? Let me just ask you that. Have you ever had a kidney stone? Well, as I was coming into Oklahoma City that Monday night, this past Monday night, I was struck by excruciating pain. I'm getting a little graphic here, and I apologize, but excruciating pain. And I got stopped at about between 9:30 and 10 o'clock Tuesday night, and by midnight I was in an ambulance on the way to the hospital because the pain had become so severe I could stand it no further. I had gotten nauseated. Imagine laying in bed in a sleeper cab in the bunk, and you get nauseated and you have to jump up out of bed, roll down the passenger side window, stick your head out the window and let loose. And that's exactly what happened to me. Here we go with the wedge. And I've got approximately um, 4 days. This has not been a convenient trip whatsoever, this has not been a fun trip. And that's not where the fun ends. I spent from midnight, what would be Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, to 5 a.m. in the hospital. I could not stand any more of that pain. And then when the vomiting started, I'd always heard that vomiting, nausea, can be associated with a heart attack. And last thing I wanted to do, I wasn't sure, but who knew, right? And so that was the primary motivation for me to call the ambulance. It wasn't necessarily the excruciating pain, but the pain brought on the nausea. And as the paramedic said, going to the hospital is better, not knowing whether you need them or not, than actually needing them and not going. And of course, they were right. And I'm too old to think that I know something when I don't. So off we went. It was about 15 miles in the ambulance to the hospital from Guthrie, Oklahoma to north side of Oklahoma City. And so they actually discharged me from, they diagnosed me, they put me under a CT scan and determined that I had a kidney stone. Okay, fine. And they gave me some medication to stop the nausea, stop the vomiting, and to stop the pain. And by the time they discharged me, they told me I had to, which was about 4:30, that I had to go to the nearby Walgreens to pick up 4 prescriptions that they had prescribed for me. They gave me 4 or 5, or they gave me about 6 pills of a certain narcotic. They gave me a muscle relaxer and anti-nausea medicine. And I was worried that they weren't giving me enough pills to last me for the trip to get home before I could go see my doctor at home. They want me to follow up with a urologist, but whatever. I don't mean to sound glib about that. It's just because it's got to be done. And so I called, using the Uber app, I arranged for a ride to Walgreens, the nearby Walgreens, and a second leg of the journey back to my truck at the truck stop, 15 miles north. And he took me, very nice gentleman. And I got back to the truck at 5 a.m. and I got 2 hours sleep, 2.5 hours sleep before I had to start driving for my next shift. And I made it too. And I also made over 600 miles that day, which would be Wednesday. I went from Oklahoma City to Lyman, Colorado is where I ended up. And then the next day I stayed at the TA truck stop there in Lyman, Colorado. And the next day, Thursday, drove from there to Vernal, Utah, but not the direct route. Me and the mouse in the pocket, my intended route was to go through Denver, I-70, and then cut northward toward Vernal, Utah, on a Colorado highway. But had mechanical. The truck did not like the steep grades of the Colorado Rocky Mountains, and consequently died twice on me en route. And I was about 12 miles west of Denver, just past Golden, going up the hill, very steep grade, and it died. Well, let me tell you something. That is a sick, terrible feeling. To feel your truck die. Underneath you. Not once, but twice I got it restarted. And it wasn't difficult to restart it. It sat there for less than 5 minutes and restarted and took off and got 3 or 4 more miles, and it died again. But I got stopped again, and again, less than 5 minutes. So as I say, I called the boss and told him what had happened. And he said, why'd you go that way? Most of our guys go Interstate 80 and go through Cheyenne and go through Wyoming, Laramie, and cut down from, someplace over by Wamsutter. And I said, well, I didn't know that. Besides that, that's a longer route by about 3 hours. And he was on me to try and get there quick like and in a hurry. And so, if you're familiar with I-70 near Denver, Genesee Park exit is where I looped around, went back to I-25, went north to Cheyenne, and went west on I-80, and I got into Vernal, Utah last night about 7 o'clock at a truck stop there.
Customer 18, your shower is ready. Please proceed to shower on.
Let me go on to go back to the medical emergency, because I forgot to say some things. So I was concerned that they hadn't given me enough medicine, and I asked about that. And he said, "Oh, you've got plenty. Trust me when I say you're not even going to use these." He said, "While you're at the drugstore, pick up a over-the-counter bottle of Advil." And I didn't know that Advil had both the Tylenol and the ibuprofen, acetaminophen and ibuprofen in it. Didn't know that. And I said, "Well, if you're sure, Doc, I'll do it. But I am not going to be home to Houston for several days. And it's going to be difficult to get the time off to get to a urologist. I understand that there are methods that they can use, ultrasound or something, to bust up a kidney stone, which is all good. And so I went to bed about 5 a.m., woke up at 7:30. I took and they said also that for men my age that they prescribed the Flomax. He said those relax the urination tubes in and out of the liver to the bladder and help the kidney stone to pass more quickly. And this is the upshot that I wanted to say, that in light of the severe pain that I had last Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, that 2 Advil every 8 hours, 6 pills every 24 hours for the last several days, and I haven't felt one bit of pain since that Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, staying on a regimen of Advil. Now, that has led me to question whether do I really have, I don't know. I got to get home, go see my doctor, or go see a urologist. And I got to say that I don't feel half bad right now. I feel a little anxious because of what has happened and what is going to happen. And I'm not. So my next load, I've been told, is going to Iowa and loads on Tuesday, which means I've got to get home on Sunday I'm approximately 20 hours from the yard here in Bennett, Colorado. So that's 2 days. That's Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to get in Sunday late in the day, and I'm going to hammer down to get there as quickly as I can. So Sunday evening, in my own bed, at home on Monday, only to turn around and be back in the truck on Monday night and get ready for load time on Tuesday morning. And going to somewhere in Iowa, I don't remember where he said in Iowa that I'm going. My wife said to me earlier, she says, today, she says, you better pay attention to what your body's telling you. Which, you know, I'm not sure what that is. I'll get this video loaded to YouTube tonight. The thing about a full wedge like this is that it's not very flexible. In fact, it's not hardly flexible at all. It doesn't sing out because of the solid steel of the blade, like a full hollow or extra hollow. So my boss wanted me to get the oil change, preventative maintenance done, and so about an hour before I got here, and then knowing that I had the load on Tuesday, and he wouldn't give me the extra day. No, I need you to take this load to Iowa. It loads on Tuesday. Blah blah blah. All right. Whatever. So I decided to go ahead and stop early today. I got here about 3:30 Mountain Time.
Good afternoon, Longhaultanker. Come easy. You should be able to go now. You should be able to fuel.
And so about an hour before I got here, I looked at the Love's app. Yes, there is one, an app. And it gives lots of useful information about how busy they are at certain times and days of the week and so forth. And it turned out today they're not very busy at all. And so I called them and I said, are you guys... I said, your app says you're not very busy right now, is that right? He said, yeah, we're not very busy. I said, I need to get an oil change. If I got in there real soon, could you do it this afternoon? He said, oh yeah. And at the time, I was about an hour out. About an hour out, coming down out of the Rocky Mountains west of Denver. And I got here as quick as I could, and I got in there, and sure enough, they weren't very busy at all. And the guy says to me, are you the guy that called? I said, yeah, I am. Also, I had a couple of tire issues. And I said to the guy, I said, I need to go shower and shave and eat dinner. I said, I'm going to be out for about 2.5 hours. How long are you going to be? He said, you can go, because it's going to take about that long to do this work. And I thought, that's just great. Not yet. The door does not have a deadbolt on it that says vacant or occupied. I know I haven't done my stories justice and given as good a detail as I would like to, but I'm just rushing like a madman. So I don't keep them waiting in the shop so I can get my truck out of the shop. Alright, that is good for the face shave. I'm going to do a head shave. Slip that back into the case. Going to use the pre-1891 George Woosten home, and I know it's hard to see, but it is there. also a little barber's notch there. Oh, by the way, the brush I was using was what I call my workhorse. It's a VP Leon Hardy handle with a golden nib, not 30 millimeter premium silver tip Badger. And that's the one that the VP Leon Hardy that fell apart. But I will say that made in Germany, VP Leon Hardy. They made good. It took a little while. And the replacement, well, I bought one from a retailer that you would know if I mentioned the name, but I'm not going to mention the name. And so it started to fall apart, and he made good. The second one that he sent me, a replacement, also started to fall apart within 3 months. And that's a minimum time frame that any vendor or manufacturer should give you, 3 months, on losing bristles. If you're losing 30, 40, 50, 100 bristles every usage, you know, you can, maybe for a few days, a few usages, you should use a new quality premium shave brush, I would say, every day for a month to see how much it's going to fall apart. There's always going to be some loss. All my brushes I've got, I have never seen a brush that didn't have a few losses. And so you're going to have that. But after the first and second week, you start getting into the toward a month, it should start tapering off pretty quick. And certainly going into the second month, to where all the loosies work their way out.
Customer 21. Door shower.
And so the first vendor that sold me the VP Leon Hardy, he replaced it. It fell apart. Then he told me I had to go to the manufacturer. And so I took pictures. And sent an email with the pictures attached. And I thought my emails got lost in a big black hole because it was 3 months before I heard anything back. They did not acknowledge the first couple of emails that I sent. But after, I guess it was close to 3 months, they sent me an email saying that my replacement brush had been shipped. Oh, well, thanks. Thank you for acknowledging. But yeah, that's all right. You know, as long as somebody does what they're supposed to do. And that's why good communication with the vendor, whether they're a, you know, what I'll call a secondary retailer, or whether they're a manufacturer. Talk to somebody, have a bit of an exchange with them. Okay. And I'll do a thorough cleanup and stropping once I get this back in the truck. All right, now we're gonna wipe down with some Ozma alum block. And this is going to, you know, my basin of water here has a lot of soapy water still soaking in it. My brush is soaking in it, and it don't matter. It really doesn't. I've been doing it, that is to say, you know, a lot of people put an emphasis on rinsing with clean fresh water, and okay, yeah, I get it, but it don't really matter. Besides that, the fragrance that lingers from the soap that's in the water is a nice thing too. All right, let's see here. Put the alum back in the box, put the box back in the bag. And so you saw the razors, the Frederick Reynolds, the main soap was the The Master, Dark and Spicy Barber Shop by Zingari Man. And that's it. Thank you for staying with me. I will see you down the road. Let's go check on my truck.